Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is your host on your favorite podcast, Living in God's Hope and Truth, the Light.
Hi, everyone. This is your special guest, Rebecca, aka Bex. Thank you for tuning in to The Light. I'm so happy to be back.
Today's topic is quite interesting. It's a generational discussion, I would say. We're going to talk about the church. Just let me put a few things across here. We're going to talk about the church. We want to talk really about something very specific and not about a denomination. And so just make sure that your focus is about the church and not just a specific denomination. All right. So let's get right into it. I just want to know, what is the church and why do we need one?
So I feel like the church is a community of people that have like-minded views, and that could be through doctrine, values, or even beliefs.
Mhm.
And just to break it down a little bit, I think that church is more so a group of people instead of the building. Church is not a building, but rather the people that are with you. And so when we say we're going to church, it doesn't mean that we're going to the building, because the building is just a building. It's just something that was constructed for us to have that church service in.
Mhm.
But I like to think that we are going to the community of people that believe the same things that we believe in. And in no way am I saying that church is not necessary, or going to a physical church where you can have service is not necessary. But I want to shift people's mindsets of thinking that when we are going to church, it's not necessarily that we're going to the building. But when we say that, people like to wonder and start thinking, okay, so if I don't have to think of church as the building, then that means I do not have to go.
Mhm.
But I don't think that is necessarily the mindset that we should have, because when we think about church, it's about fellowship. And when I say people, I mean fellowship. And so staying at home is not necessarily the issue, but like I said, there's beauty in fellowship. And so if you have access to the church walls, then I strongly encourage going there, because when you're in that environment, you have fewer distractions.
Mhm.
So but whereas when you're at home, you have the comforts of your home, so your
Right.
bed, your
Mhm.
TV, your laptop, everything that is around you. So I strongly encourage going to church, but I don't think that church is necessarily what makes the people. The people make the environment and not the church walls.
Wow. Okay, great. So I like one thing that you mentioned right from the beginning. It is not about the church building, it's about the church, it being the people where you come together in fellowship and be with each other. I know that church is important, and the question that we ask is, why do we need one? And you mentioned about fellowship, you mentioned about community building, that connection with people. We live in 21st century, and even just after the COVID, season, church has changed in the context of the fellowship part. Now you have online church service. I know we used to stream services, but now you have like Zoom where
Mm-hmm.
people meet. Why do I need that fellowship if I can just sit at home and just watch a screen and still enjoy God's presence in a sense? Why do we need church if I can stay home and watch a screen?
Yeah, so like I said, there's beauty in fellowship, and I know that you can fellowship with people via Zoom or
Mm-hmm.
online, but when you are immersed in something and when you are in a certain environment, you feel that more of a shift. And I know
Mm-hmm.
there are certain situations that may cause you to be at home, but I feel like when you are in church with people who are doing the same thing as you, your mind is completely on the thing
Mm-hmm.
that you're there for.
Right.
And so when you're at home, when maybe you're the only one that's in your room watching church service, notification pops up, you're going to look at your notification.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're at church and you see everybody singing along, you see everybody is praying, you're more inclined to do the same things that people are doing,
Right.
because
Right.
one, you don't want to be shunned,
Mm-hmm.
and two, you just feel that spirit within you that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're here for a certain purpose, so let me put my phone away, let me stop talking, let me just pay attention to what's going on. So when I say going to the church physically
Mm-hmm.
is more beneficial for our spiritual growth, it's because you have fewer distractions and you are more inclined to do the things that are that is going on around you.
Yeah, and I like that. But what is also very interesting in our days today is some people are in the church but their mind are not in the church,
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
they get
Absolutely.
distracted and they stay on their phone. Some have
Yeah, yeah,
headphones in their ears because they are just there physically, but
yeah.
their mind, they're not in tune with the other people that are surrounding them. They are
Right.
being antisocial or
Mm-hmm.
anti-worship
Yeah.
when they come into that
And
space.
I feel like that's just like the first start though,
Mm-hmm.
because when you think about it, if you're at home, you have two errors there. You're distracted, one, and two,
Mm-hmm.
you're not in the place to even take you away from those distractions.
Right.
But when you're at church, you have that first step. You've taken that leap.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like, okay, I'm not in this environment. Now it's up to you internally, and with that relationship with God, it's like, okay, now that I'm here, what change can I make? Instead of being on my phone, instead of talking, instead of doing all these things, I've made that first step. Now let me take the next step. But if you're at home,
Mm-hmm.
you made one kind of mistake
Right.
in the sense of being immersed in that worship environment.
Yeah. So let me twist something here for
Yeah.
for the interest of thinking about what people might be thinking right now.
Right.
In a historical context, the ecclesia, which is the church, has well known to do some bad stuff. We often associate the church with slavery. We associate with some type of wars that had happened in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
We want to really we know those are the historical things.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we know that the head of the church, Jesus, would not necessarily embrace such a thing. But what are some of the common, causes or issues in our churches that causes many to leave? Because I know many people have left our churches because of the history that they have heard about the church, the things that the church has done in the past. And of course, these are big things. We were not there, and so we would say, let the past be the past.
Yeah.
But what are some of the common things that are happening in our church 21st century time?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the common things that are causing people to leave?
Yeah. And I'm glad that you even pointed that out, that yes, before it was like major things that were happening that were causing people to leave the church, but now even the smallest things can cause people to leave the church. And it's just so important to kind of like highlight those things so that we can make our lives a little bit better and make the church environment better or safer for us to even indulge in. And so I thought of three things when I was thinking about this question, and one of them was people feel like they have no support. And so some people go through things and then we think about it and we're like, okay, we'll leave that to the pastors or the first elders to go take care of those people who are either who have lost someone, who are going through some sickness. And then we kind of limit ourselves to what the beauty of friendship can do.
Right.
You may not be the closest of friends to that person, but just showing your support as a church member can go such a long way. You think that, okay, yes, I'm at home sick and the pastors or the first elders are going to come and visit me, but then you see someone that you don't really talk to. It just shows that bond or that church community that you have, and it shows that it's not a one-man worship. It's all of us. We are trying to unite ourselves to go forward.
Yeah.
And so when you think of everybody in your church as equal, then you don't think, okay, I'll leave this to this person to go check up on them, or I'll leave this to this person to go check on them. Everybody has to do their due diligence.
Right.
and take each other, hold each other accountable for the things that we do. Another thing is that I feel like the church has become too political. And I know there are other Christians who are listening to this podcast, but speaking specifically for myself and thinking about the things that we learned, how the church has become too political. And people really love power and position. Some people do not get that power position in their workplaces, so when they come to church, it's like, okay, now I'm on top of the world. Let me do something. Let me have this power that I do not feel elsewhere. And so in this mindset where they are feeling fulfilled, that they begin to misuse the power that they have or the positions that they have, because their mindset has switched from how can I help this church move forward to now, okay, now I'm the king of the world. Now people have to listen to me,
right,
basically. And with this mindset, people can see how someone has changed, or someone has, they're just not liking how this person is helping them or guiding them to Christ, And so the church has shifted from what it once was, which is a loving environment that just wanted to focus strictly on God's truth and his word, to now, how can we use the church as political or financial gain?
Wow.
And so people are probably not interested in this anymore. So that's
Yeah.
when they start to resent and start thinking, okay, I do not want to be in a place where people are thinking that they're above me, when and in
Mm.
this environment we should all love each other. We should all have this, sense of community, and not
Right.
feel like one is on top of each other. Yes, there's people who hold positions to help us, govern things. There obviously needs to be some type of order. If everybody did the same thing, there will be no order. Just
Right.
like how in the workplace we have a CEO, we have a boss. But
Mhm.
in that mentality, when it comes to work, they think that, yes, I hold this position, I make more money than you, I do this, that. So then they have that mindset. But whereas in church, you just hold that title.
It's just a
Yeah,
title.
it's just a title.
Servant
Yeah,
leadership.
yeah, servant leadership. Yeah, I know I'm going around in circles, but I hope the listeners are trying to get the point that I'm trying to make, that it's more so they hold a title so they can help us all move forward, not that they think that anybody is better than anyone else.
Wow.
And then lastly, I feel this is so important to
I want to
me,
hear
very,
it.
very important to me, where I cannot stress this enough, but I do not want to sound like I am coming at anybody, especially as a youth or a young adult, is that people have become too bored from being idle. And it's such a big point to me,
Wow.
because when you become idle, you become bored with what you do. So now
Wow.
church becomes a repetitive cycle where you come in, you sit down, you listen to the sermon, and then you go
Go
home.
home. That's it.
Of course, that is going to be boring to you.
I know.
But if you don't find ways to improve your spiritual growth, you are going to find it boring, and you're going to say, what do I need this for if I've already reached a certain level?
Right.
You're going to say, I've heard so many sermons, I've done so many things. And so when that is your mindset, you begin to think, what more is my use? What more do I have to do?
Right.
But when you shift your mindset to, there's always something that needs to be done. It could even be the smallest thing as passing along the microphone can make you feel like, okay, I am of use today. I am doing something. I'm doing something that's going to make me not feel idle, like I'm just doing the same repetitive cycle. Or even coming and helping someone with AV or switching slides. There's always something that you can do. And so, I was having this conversation with someone last week, and they were saying how when they're at school, they feel when they go to their churches in the area, they always have something to do. So once they get inside the church, they feel that Holy Spirit. They're ready to take on something at church, whether it be AV, it be whatever the case may be.
Right.
They feel that inclination to do something, and so they're not just sitting there and just listening to a sermon and calling it a day. And so they're like, no, I need to shift that mindset, because if I have that mindset when I go to school, isn't it the same God that I'm worshiping at school that I'm worshiping here? So let me do something so that church doesn't become boring, or church doesn't become a repetitive cycle to me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. No, this is wonderful. I like all the 3 points that you listed, and I want to start commenting on all of them.
Yeah.
Literally starting with the support. From a pastoral perspective, sometimes it's so hard
Yeah.
to know who to support,
Yeah.
but to just support everybody.
Yeah.
Because you see people who are kind of fit and strong
Yeah.
in their walk with God,
Yeah.
but then deep down they're going through something that they need somebody to talk to, or if the church is not a safe space, it becomes very difficult to actually share. So that's a very important thing.
Exactly.
That you mentioned out there. Thinking about, wow, like just getting something to do, doing something, it changes the whole ball game.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're involved, that you can do a lot. One thing I have read about the church is not meant for an island. It is meant for a community. So
absolutely.
nobody can be hiding somewhere and says, oh, I will just be there, and then the church will just be there and I'm on my own church. Or we should even think about a church being like a hospital where people are sick. You're going to have people who may hurt you, people who will not make you happy. Somebody used the analogy of Noah in the ark with the sheep and the goat and the lions and the snakes, and they never ran out of the ark. Their goal was to be saved. So if your goal is to be saved, you may find people in the church who may not necessarily support you. You will not abuse power, because your goal is to serve people and bring people closer to Christ.
Absolutely.
And ultimately you would find yourself to do something because you would also want people to be empowered spiritually, and of course empowering yourself by also doing something. So no, this is great. And Wow. Let's move on to this important question that I have here. I have faith, but I don't believe in God. Is that okay? Why or why not?
I don't know, Pastor. No, the thing is about this question, I just have to understand is you have faith in what though?
Okay, so I have faith. I believe that there is things work out for
Mm-hmm.
me. If I
Mm-hmm.
want to get married, I have faith that I'll find my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to trust in the God to help me to find my
Right.
spouse.
Okay.
This is where like some people are coming from these days. And people forget that this life is a holistic life. You have to have, academia, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, spirituality. You have
Mm-hmm.
to find physique. You have to find a social life. So people are strong financially, but you're not strong socially. People
Yeah.
are strong socially, but you're not strong spiritually. And
Yeah.
so these are some of the burdens that people have in their life these days. And so somebody is saying, I have faith. I have faith that things will work out, but I don't believe in God. Is that okay?
So, in the context of a Christian,
Mm.
I feel like when you claim to be Christian, you claim to have faith that God is your king. He
Mm-hmm.
is the one that takes care of you. He's the
Mm-hmm.
one that holds power. He created you. And so, if you are a Christian, that's kind of hard to say that you have faith, but don't believe or have faith in God or
God.
don't believe in God.
Mm.
It's two contradictory
Mm-hmm.
statements.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the flip side, if you are not a Christian, then I can, have a little grace
Mm-hmm.
then and
Mm-hmm.
understand where you're coming from. But I just want to shift our mindsets into the idea that we were not placed on this earth on our own,
Mm.
right? There
Mm-hmm.
was a being or something or someone that placed us here, and that is why we are here.
Mm.
And so if you can just think for a second the glory or the magnificence of someone that was able to place us here, then you can continue to think that, okay, it is not our own doing.
Mm-hmm.
It is not
Mm-hmm.
someone moral beings. It's
Right.
someone who has, all this power
Mm-hmm.
in order to do these things. And so if you have faith that you will get a job, then just understand that it wasn't your own doing that got you that job.
Mm.
Yes, you may, put in the work, but it is a greater being that was able to place that opportunity in front of you. It's a
Right.
greater being that was able to, just make these opportunities come to be. And I know it's hard to think of because, it's hard to have faith in something that you cannot see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But just shift your mindset to the fact that we are merely mortal. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want to say that we don't have the power that God has given us, because yes, there's power within us to do
Yeah.
certain things, but
Yeah. Make our own
ultimately,
choices.
yes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but ultimately God gives us this power to do these things. And so for our non-Christians and for our Christians, I just want us to think of or have a mindset that we cannot do things without God.
Mm-hmm.
God placed us on this earth. He gives us food, he gives us shelter, he gives us a job. He does these things for us because he loves us. And so shifting our mindset to you cannot lean on your own self and you have to lean on God will kind of allow you to think that, yes, I do have faith, and also I have faith in God that gives me these things or allows me to have these things.
Mm-hmm. People don't know that having faith in itself is a gift from God.
Absolutely.
So if you have faith but you don't believe in God, you have to question yourself, where did you get that faith?
Where did you get it from?
People go to the restaurant with no fear that they will poison them, and I'll always use this. That is faith. That is faith implanted in every single being, that you have assurance to trust somebody to a certain degree or level,
Right.
because you want to live. Imagine going to sleep and not waking up again.
Yeah.
Who are you going to question? Who are you going to ask? Imagine
Absolutely.
that
That
you
is so
accepted
true.
the job, and on your way you passed out on the road. Who are you going to question? Who are you going to ask? It is fine, it is okay. I know people have gotten to the perspective of not believing in God because people have used the name of God to do things that are not acceptable.
Yeah,
And that's what we
misused
have
it,
already
yeah.
talked about, it misused it, right? And so I would say it is not okay to have faith and don't believe in God, but you would have your own right and freedom to do whatever you want. For that one, I cannot force you. I
Yeah.
cannot embrace. I
Absolutely.
cannot embrace it with you. But I can absolutely recommend that if you want to have faith and even deepen your faith,
Mm-hmm.
and trust that everything that you want to get done would get done.
Mm-hmm.
Put your trust in God,
Yeah.
and in his own doing and his own will, he will make all things new and well for you.
Yeah, and I also like how you pointed out that when something negative happens, we often turn and say, "Oh God, why did this happen?" But when something positive happens, we think, "Oh, it's our own doing." It's the mindset of a human. It's just very questionable. Like, why is it that when something bad happens, like, "Oh God, why did you let this happen? Unfortunately, why did you let my family member pass away?" But when you get a job, you think, "Oh yes, I did this on my own." You don't turn to God.
Yeah.
It's mercy.
And people say, I am lucky.
Oh,
Like, this is luck.
Yeah.
No, there's not such a thing.
no.
There's a text in the book of Matthew that talks about God is the one who reign and shine the sun on both the wicked and the good. And so people who supposedly may not even believe in God, God still care for them. He still love them. He still provide for them. And so if you're out there, it is better to believe in God. It's not like you want to have faith in a woman, but you don't want any relationship with that woman. I don't know who would do that, but that as well. Well, as we wrap up here, let's, I know we've talked briefly about this earlier, but let's wrap it up with that. What are some of the benefits of having a church family? Maybe somebody's out there, they're reflecting and thinking, I really like this church topic that you're talking about. How can I really choose a church family? What are some of the benefits?
Yeah, so I thought about this. I was thinking, there's beauty in people who are like-minded. There's beauty in people who have the same values and have the same beliefs. And so when we think about these things, it kind of puts our mind towards the fact that if I have a mindset of love and of just being caring or being loyal or faithful, then my neighbor who has that same belief as me is going to possess these same values or beliefs. And so when we think about that, then we think, okay, if I am loving and caring, my neighbor is going to be loving and caring, then I have a community of people who are always going to be loving and caring towards me. And not even just towards me, but towards people who they see often. I find that there's so much beauty in that, because I know that if I'm in this environment, or if I go to this church and I see that people are possessing these same values and virtues, then I will have that being portrayed towards me. And in this life, we all need some love. We all need some, happiness in our lives. And so if God has called us to be these vessels, or these people who possess these qualities, then it won't only be portrayed towards God, because God says love for me is a love for my neighbors, right? And so if people are showing that love towards God, then they'll also show that love towards me. And like I said, in this life, we all need love. And so I think it's so important to just know that you will always have that community of people who will possess these qualities that you want. And I know there are people who may just go, like we mentioned before, who are going just there physically, but their mindset is not there yet. But that's half the step. And so we just need to know that we are not the ones that are going to change people. It's God who changes people. And
Amen.
So if we have that mindset that they will eventually show me love, they will eventually show me support, then I know that I have that forever.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Just closing it off, I just want to encourage everybody that if you don't have a church family, if you don't have a group of people with the same belief, with the understanding of embracing the love of Jesus and the love of God, through the understanding of the Holy Spirit, and through the purpose that we are called to embrace in this world, I want to encourage you to look for a church community. When you see the signboard, when you see the sign, the cross sign somewhere there, when you see the logo of some angels flying, wherever you find yourself, just pop in there and ask them, who is Jesus, and how can I be a part of this family? And I pray that the Lord will teach you and lead you in that direction.
Amen.
Becky, any last words for people, and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, same thing. I just feel like the church just holds so much power, and that it can change lives. And so if you, like Pastor said, if you see a church that you know is preaching things that are right and things that are according to the Bible, just pop in, be involved, be part of that community, and see how your life can change for the better.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in today. As you know, this is your friend, your brother, Kenneth. This is the light, living in God's hope and truth, and we keep it 100 here. God willing, we will see you again next time
Mm-hmm.
on our next episode. I think we have a lot to talk about the church,
Mm-hmm.
and so I hope you continue to stay tuned and join us in the near future. God bless you and have a wonderful day wherever you find yourself. Bye bye.
Bye bye.